Hi, welcome to Simply Sinful Dining. I'm Michelle, your host, and today we will be making desserts. To start off with, we're going to make lemon bars. I love lemon bars and they are not that hard to make. I like them a lot. I didn't grow up eating them, but I tasted one probably when I was about, 25 for the first time. I know deprived childhood, right? No lemon bars as a child. And I fell in love with them and decided that I had to figure out how to make them from scratch and make them taste as delicious as I remember them tasting. We're going to start with melted butter, and to that we're going to add 2 cups of flour. Regular all-purpose flour. You don't have to sift it, you don't have to do anything but measure it out into the cup and put it in the butter. And just like last time, just measure it out into the cup, tap it off with a knife or a small spatula or whatever, and then put it in. That's 1 cup. And that's the other one. And then to that, we're going to add powdered sugar. Once again, you don't have to sift it or anything, and you don't have to be as careful with powdered sugar because, you know, it's a little bit sweeter than it's supposed to be. It's kind of okay. To that, we're going to add a little bit of vanilla extract. And just a small pinch of salt. Literally, pinch. And just stir it up. And if you stir it together, it'll come into a nice dough. This is the crust for the lemon bars. And it might not look like it's going to be, you know, very thick at first, but once you stir it all in and everything's all incorporated, it's perfect. My kids love these lemon bars. And I make them, you know, for a lot of family and friends, and a lot of times they come into the kitchen and they're like, "Mom, are you making lemon bars again?" And I'm like, "Yeah. Can we have some?" And I'm like, "No, these aren't for the house," and they usually are quite crestfallen, so I try to make them for the house too. Not often though, because lemon bars are really, really rich. Okay, so there's the crust. And I have a 9x13 pan that I'm going to spray some nonstick spray into. Makes for easier cutting and removing after they're done. And you just press the crust in with your hands all the way across. And at first it doesn't look like it's going to be enough crust, but there's more than enough to go all the way across the bottom and up the sides slightly. These are like the dessert that I'm known for. All my family and friends are always asking me when I'm making lemon bars. And I try to explain to them that I make things other than lemon bars, and they don't care. They just want the lemon bars. I've actually been threatened over lemon bars. Not bad enough that I have to carry a weapon, but who knows. Okay, so that's all the way around the bottom, evenly across the bottom, a little bit up the sides. And this is going to go in the oven and bake for 15 minutes till it's, you know, nice and golden brown at the top. And while that's in the oven, I'll start with the filling. Now for the filling. For the filling, we're going to need eggs, And to the eggs, I'm gonna add sugar. And I'm going to beat the eggs and sugar together until it's nice and mixed, you know, fluffy and all mixed together. And it's a light yellow color. I started on a low speed, and then once all the sugar's in the eggs, I turn it up so that it can get really, really fluffy. Okay, so I'm going to just sit this right here, and half a cup lemon juice. Then there's lemon juice. The lemons are room temperature. It's easier to get the juice from them if they're not cold. So I'm kneading them a little bit just to, you know, make them a little easier to juice. And I start out with about 3, and if I need more, then I just cut another one. And I juice them right into my measuring cup so that I know when to stop. I would love to have one of those juicers with the little spinny motor thing, but I don't, so I use my hands. These lemons smell so good. This is about the time the kids come in because the crust starts to bake and you can smell the vanilla in the crust, and then the lemons, I'm juicing them and you can smell lemons all through the kitchen. And they follow their noses. Let's see. Now, I only need 3 lemons this time. So, now that I have the lemons juiced, get that out of the way. Set the lemon juice to the side. And to the egg and sugar mixture, I'm going to add a little bit of flour, a little bit of baking powder. And this is what's going to help the filling rise. After you add the flour and the baking powder, it kind of takes on a little, it's more like batter, like a cake batter. And after that's mixed in, I have the lemon juice, and I really like my lemon bars to have a nice lemony pop, so I add a little extract too. You don't have to. Okie dokie. That's it, and now I'm going to check on the crust and see how much longer we have to wait for that to be done. So the crust needs to go a little bit longer, and after the crust comes out, we'll pour this directly onto the hot crust, throw it back in the oven, and it'll bake until it's set, about 30 minutes at 350. So the crust is ready to come out the oven now, and we've got the filling waiting for it. So the crust is a nice golden brown. little browner around the edges. You don't want it too brown. And I'm just going to stir this to make sure that none of the sugar is settled on the bottom, and pour it directly over the hot crust. It smells so good already, and it's not even all the way cooked. I'm so happy. I love to bake. Baking makes me happy. It de-stresses me, makes me feel better when I am in not the best mood. So now it just goes back into the oven for another 30 minutes. Until it's set. And then when it comes out of the oven, we have to let it cool completely before we cut it. That makes me a little sad, but it's well worth the wait because they are so good. They make the voices in your head stop. These go so fast. I can never make enough. I always think I do. I'll double the recipe and make 2 whole pans, and you know, this looks like a pretty big pan for a dessert, but they go fast every time. Every time I make them, they go fast. And all that's in there, and I have to have some right now. Just a little piece, because I still have to taste the pound cake too. That is so good. Every time I taste it, it's so tasty. It's buttery and it's lemony and it's sweet and it's tart and it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and I'm sorry you can't have any right now, but I can. Thanks for watching Simply Sinful Dining. Stay tuned for the next episode, and remember, make life delicious. See you later.